All right, I have to say, Chuck, I have to say it. I'm very excited about we're coming a little later this week, okay? We flipped the script a little bit, had some basketball talk with Travis Ford, but there is too much to talk about to not be doing a Martin and Marlow this week. In fact, you think about it on the TV side. On a Monday night, you could lead with the fact that Alex Pietrangelo is going to Vegas, the fact that Mizzou's game with Vanderbilt is postponed, the fact that Tony LaRussa might be going back to the White Sox, or that Tommy Pham was stabbed. I mean, for a stretch where we had nothing for weeks and months to talk about, it's unbelievable right now, the sports headlines. So the people demand that we discuss.
And you just laid out a lot of great topics. I have to say, though, just because I just saw this video from TMZ Sports, I don't know if you saw this, and I know this was next to a strip club. I'm assuming Tommy Pham was at the strip club, although maybe I shouldn't assume that. I know it was outside of a strip club.
I think the police report said he was exiting the ladies, whatever, the dancer club or whatever.
Right. So I've seen this video, and there's this fight. It's kind of the aftermath. And here's Tommy Pham, who, by the way, is wearing sweatpants to a strip club. Okay, that's the first thing. And I'm really glad that he's okay. But he got stabbed 12 inches into his back. He's standing there with a white shirt just bleeding. You can see this in the video, and he's standing there like nothing happened. It's amazing.
Well, he's a machine. He's been stabbed before.
Yes, he has.
That's what, when the story broke on Twitter, and your first thought is, we all like the dude, like hopefully he's okay. Everybody in St. Louis media had the same reaction. They said, again? Like, how many times has a sports figure been stabbed? And the immediate response by everyone is, again? So let's hope he's okay. And it sounds like he put out a statement thanking the police. They're still looking for the guys who did it. Apparently they were arguing near his car, and he told them to get away from his car and things else. He's a no-nonsense guy. I can hear him saying to get away from my car. And then it elevated.
He is, and look, we love Tommy Pham. Part of the reason he's so good, I think, is the chip on his shoulder and his edge, and he plays that way, and that's probably also the way he goes about his life, in the sense that I think if you're a big league baseball player or a professional athlete, if you see people arguing near your car, I don't want to say you should let it go, but you should probably maybe just let it go if they're not damaging your car and not go over there and potentially get stabbed like he did. But Tommy Pham, he plays with an edge, and look, he was out and about, and this happened. I'm glad that he's healthy. Just another kind of layer, another chapter to the legend of Tommy Pham.
Martin Kilcoyne, Charlie Marlow. It's Martin and Marlow. It's episode 19. Johnny Unitas. Can I throw it? You're good at the baseball ones. Come on.
19.
Mr. Baseball. What is he called, Mr. Baseball? Speaking of the Padres.
So Tony Gwynn.
Mr.
Padre.
What do I call him? Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball.
Bob Uecker.
Was that the Tom Selleck movie?
I think Bob Uecker is Mr. Padre. All right. Tony Gwynn, Robin Yount, another great 19 from my childhood. Let's start with the Pham theme, not about people being stabbed, but former Cardinals playing in the postseason. Marcell Ozuna tearing it up. Had a great season for the Braves. Randy Arozarena for the Rays, just insane postseason. Luke Voit led the major leagues in home runs. I think as we kind of walk through this, former Cardinals, obviously the theme. With Luke Voit, when they made the deal, we thought, well, they don't really have a position for him. Now, if Matt Carpenter's not here, maybe you give Voit first base and say he's going to be a slugger and he's just going to play first base, that's it. Ozuna, we saw the defensive lapses. You heard stories he was late to the ballpark. I don't know what's entirely accurate, but at the time I was like, I understand why they're not going to throw money at him, but maybe you could have gotten him for the one-year deal. I think with the Arozarena, we weren't sure why they didn't want to at least give him a longer look.
Yeah, all those guys you just mentioned with deals being made. And if you go back, I loved the Ozuna deal when it was made. Now, he was a bit inconsistent with the Marlins, but he had the 1 year where he was absolutely amazing. Remember, his numbers this year, they were not similar to what he was for the Cardinals for a couple years. I know he was hurt, but he didn't show us the Marcell Ozuna that he showed the one huge year with the Marlins and what he's shown this year. So I'm okay with the Cardinals moving on, although if you could have got him for the 1 year deal, I think you probably, especially with the hindsight of knowing what Tyler O'Neill Harrison Bader did. I mean, a bounce-back year, and Marcell Ozuna betting on himself. I think if you look at these deals, though, Paul Goldschmidt, that deal, I'm fine with it, even though the Cardinals gave up good assets. Luke Voit, my question is less on John Mozeliak, and why are some of these guys leaving the organization and other organizations are unlocking their offensive and hitting potential that a Jeff Albert or previous Cardinal hitting regimes haven't? The thing with Randy Arozarena that bothers me is he never failed. He had an 851 OPS in the minors. He had an 891 OPS in a very limited stint with the Cardinals in the big leagues. He was never bad, but they chose, let's be real, they chose Bader O'Neill over Arozarena. Now, 3 years from now, we might say Matthew Liberatore is awesome, but right now it looks really bad.
Let's stick with baseball because the LaRussa thing fascinates me. Because the first time you hear it, you say, oh, there's no freaking way this guy's going to man it. He's 76, just turned 76. But then you start thinking about Tony, and you go, man, this guy is a baseball lifer. The one thing Jerry Reinsdorf, the Sox owner, always says that my biggest mistake, and this guy who owned the Bulls, and they had a lot of things people debate over the years, but he says letting LaRussa get fired from the White Sox. So it would be full circle. I know people say, oh, it's crazy. But we love Tony because sometimes he's kind of crazy. And I don't know if it'll happen. And Bob Nightingale of USA Today, who's plugged in, does he get everything right? No. But basically what he has said is that he's their number one candidate. It may not happen, but that Reinsdorf is committed to going after him, which I believe, that's very believable to me. Now, Tony might say, I don't know. But part of me says, God, pay me $3 or $4 million. I'm going to go out to dinner and have some wine and great meals with some of my favorite people, flying to Chicago, and I got a great team. I first of all, I think it could happen, and it would be so much effing fun to watch it happen.
Right when you asked me that, I wanted to look up how old Dusty Baker is because I thought they were
71.
Similar age. Right. So I knew Tony is 76, Dusty Baker's 71. So 5 years does make a pretty big difference. But the fact that Dusty is back for this short, it might be a year or two with the Astros. We all know what happened with the scandal. But look, Tony LaRussa, if he gets the job with the White Sox, I hope he does. I think it would be absolutely awesome. It would only be what? Maybe 2 or 3 years? No chance it would be a deal of over 3 years. Maybe it's more like 2. And I love it for baseball. If it happens, Tony LaRussa is one of the great characters for baseball. I'm sure he would like just one last hurrah. Maybe he's missed the dugout the last 9 years. And you have a team that is ready to win right now. They have unbelievable talent, especially position players. I think they probably need one starting pitcher. They have an unbelievable bullpen. I just think that would be a home run type move for me. I know they're looking at some of these guys like A.J. Hinch and Alex Cora. Those guys bring some baggage. Tony La Russa for 2 or 3 years, I would love to see it.
I think any Chicago media person, radio, TV, newspaper, that's bitching about, oh, give me a break. This guy, they should take it back because you will have fun, you'll be entertained, and if your job is to fill your notebook, as they say, the writers say, or talk about shit on the radio, this guy, and you know what? I bet he'll have more fun than he's ever had because he'll grind, he'll be uptight, and he's a youthful 76. I should also throw that out there. I just think it'd be freaking hilarious. It'd be great. I would go up there to cover a game.
100%. And I think, look, when Tony was a manager for 30-plus years, that probably wears on you. So he retires in 2011 from managing. He's going out on top with the World Series, but he's now had 9 years where he hasn't had that daily grind. I know he's been in baseball, but it's not like he's had the real pressure of the dugout. I'm betting he misses that, and I'm betting he's a bit energized. If he'd have been managing all the way through to 76, he'd probably be done by now. But could he say, look, 2-3 more years, let's go, all my energy, let's get my fitness up. I got 2-3 years, and then I'm done. I think you can do that, and just know it's going to be a very short stint, and then you ride off in the sunset, hopefully.
I hope it happens just for copy. The fountains and flags outside invite you in. Once inside, it's obvious what makes Marita Villa so special. It's the people that live there. and the people that work there. I know for a fact it's a fun place to visit, been there many times over the years for special events, and you can tell the residents love it as well. Welcoming atmosphere, providing all types of senior living, independent living, skilled nursing, memory care. Marie de Villa Senior Living, that's what we're talking about. A single location. That means ownership is hands-on. The residents here are considered guests, and trust me, they feel that way. The beautiful grounds make it more of a campus-type atmosphere. I love calling it the Marie de Villa campus, located at the corner of Clayton and Weidman Road. I guarantee you've driven by there, probably seen the fountains going. Red for October baseball, blue when the Blues are deep into a playoff run. It's a family-owned facility. It's been in business since 1960, and for so many years, it was home to the Cardinals legend, Red Schoendienst. I encourage you to take a virtual tour or simply to read more about this special place. Go to mariedevilla.com. You love sports? Sure. But what you really love is a winning team and a great story. That's exactly what you get with Appliance Discounters. It started with just 3 employees. 1 location, 3 employees. Denise Bradley, her husband John, her brother Tony. That's it. More than a decade ago. And for years, you've heard me talking about them. Here's why. My dishwasher, it's a Bosch, the quietest dishwasher on the market. Remember Grandma's dishwasher always, That's not what's going on with us. We got it at Appliance Discounters. Our washer, our dryer, our stove, and our refrigerator, and Electrolux. Yes, the Kilcoins put these babies to the test. During the quarantine, the MVP at our house, the dishwasher, it got a workout. We've got big name brands we're talking about at a great price. St. Charles, Baldwin, Maplewood, South County, and in the city. The best bet, just get online. TheApplianceDiscounters.com. Our savings are your savings. Also, we mentioned so many great headlines. Mizzou, and I said this is like such a Mizzou thing. They win, everyone's excited. Oh my God, when's the next game? Oh, they get Vandy. Oh, they kick the shit out of Vandy. It's like, oh, the game's postponed. Like, God, it's never all good news for Mizzou fans. Granted, COVID's a bigger story. You'll get to beat Vandy later in the year because they're really bad. The fact they found out because of the bus company in Columbia called and said, hey, Vandy just canceled their buses. We called down to the Nashville TV and said, hey, are you guys going to, they said, this operation over there, you don't even, it's a new AD, they don't know what's going on. It sounds like a disaster. So you can beat Vandy later. The real story is what they did to LSU, and not just pulling an upset. I know LSU, defending national champions, not the same as they were last year, but I don't care. It's still LSU. They're still better than you are. You beat them. And the fact they did it, it was as entertaining as any Mizzou game has been in a long time. I think it just points to, hopefully, a bright future.
Yes, and the fact that we all know LSU is not the team that won the national championship last year. They lost 5 first-round picks and 13 overall, but still, it's LSU. It's a blue blood program. I promise you their recruiting rankings are still way better than Mizzou's. So anytime Mizzou can beat a blue blood program like an LSU, you celebrate that win no matter what. And it was a very fun and entertaining game. And this is where, coming in, we knew about this offensive mind of Eli Drinkwitz. And I just think in year one, he already has a signature win. This is a weird year anyway. But just think about the marriage of Eli Drinkwitz and Connor Bazelak, who's a redshirt freshman, who for 4 years now, you can pair with this offensive mind where you look at what he did. He got the ball to his playmakers in space, Jalen Knox, Tyler Beatty, and he just put them in situations to succeed. And I'm looking at different people on Twitter and analysts saying Connor Bazelak is going to be an NFL player and that he might be the most talented quarterback in the SEC right now. Not necessarily the best. That was Aaron Murray, the former Georgia quarterback, said that. So Mizzou fans should be very excited about the next 4 years with Bazelak and Eli Drinkwitz and hopefully more big wins to come.
And Bazelak, looking back, according to the ESPN rankings at the time, he was the number 10 prep quarterback in the country. We knew that when he picked Mizzou, that he was a pretty heralded. He was a 4-star. So it's not a surprise. He's coming off an ACL. That's maybe more of the surprise. But you're right, the pairing of Drinkwitz, whose resume, albeit new to most of us until a year ago, is all about offense. They were creative. That's the thing about it. You get a flea flicker. I mean, I think that's what Mizzou fans, the last few years, even when Drew Lock was playing well, the Odom regime just lacked sizzle. And Drinkwitz keeps telling everybody he's on Paul Feinbaum on Monday. I'm just a dorky white guy with glasses. The next home game scheduled is Halloween. Shouldn't every student there dress like Eli Drinkwitz? Shouldn't everybody have the dorkiest Revenge of the Nerds glasses? I think in Columbia, I'm an idea guy, Chuck. This is my idea. Fill up Faroe, well, whatever you can fill up, a quarter of Faroe. All the kids should be dressed like dorky white guys. They could dress like me, be a dorky white guy.
Yeah, the glasses, and I think the haircut's looking better, though, because he had kind of that flop haircut, which I have to say, it did look very dorky. I don't think that glasses necessarily look dorky, but his haircut for a while there was, let's be real, and I think he'd even admit that. But he's got the visor going, which is so SEC, and he's self-deprecating, which I love. And I thought this all along. I didn't really know anything about Eli Drinkwitz, but being in on a lot of those Zoom calls during the pandemic where he talked every week, I said, man, this guy is funny. He likes to have fun. He likes to joke around. He likes to jab with the media. He likes to poke fun at himself. And if they win, he's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, if Mizzou doesn't win, it's hard to be Mr. Silly Guy when you're getting blown out each and every week. That doesn't look like it's going to be the case with Eli Drinkwitz.
The best in the bricks. It's more than just a slogan. Why not make your home or garage or chimney look its best by fixing the bricks? That's what B&G Tuck Pointing can do for you. Bricks look their best with proper tuck pointing. Call Rich Galati and his team at 314-363-0525. And by team, of course, we include his daughters Bella and Gabrielle. Or go online, bgtuckpointing.com. A proud St. Louis-based company that supports the hometown St. Louis Blues. Yes, they love their hockey. Chimney repair, foundation repair, caulking, waterproofing. They do it all. Have you driven around St. Louis? We have a lot of brick buildings, and if they need repair, you know who to call. Consider me among the many satisfied customers. Call 363-0525, 363-0525, or go online, bgtuckpointing.com, and find out what it means to be the best in the bricks.
And this is the time of year you and I, we should be very thankful because you have baseball playoffs going on, NHL, NBA just wrapped up. You also have the football going on. But in about a month, baseball, NHL, NBA, in November, we desperately need college basketball to happen. And if it does, SLU's going to be good, could be really good. Illinois is going to be really good. You forget those guys that were going to go pro didn't. Illinois is a legit program too. I just hope like hell college basketball, they can figure it out. Talking to Travis Ford the other day, he said, I don't know who we're playing or when. And I said, I thought you guys were all going to bubbles. He said, Martin, there have been 30 different proposals just for us of where we could end up. We rip up every schedule. I just hope that it happens because otherwise November could be a little lean.
Okay. I just thought of this when you brought that up, and I saw Jeff Goodman tweeting out that the schedule's all messed up, and obviously the Memphis series with SLU is pushed and all that. We complain every year that SLU and Mizzou don't play in basketball. And I get all the politics, even though I don't agree with it. Oh, this and that, and okay, if Mizzou loses that game, there's nothing in it for them. They're supposed to beat SLU, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the case. SLU is a really good program. I don't think losing to SLU kills you in the recruiting game. But if this is a year where it's hard for you to get a good competitive game, how can this not be the year where you could drive 2 hours, whatever it is, back and forth? You could play twice. They should play this year, right? I mean, what's the excuse not to play this year if you can't find games? If they can drive and make a short trip and play.
Have a bubble with Illinois in it too.
There you go.
Maybe even somebody, the best team in the Valley, like get 4 or 5 of them together and have like a 2-week tournament where nobody leaves. I mean, I guarantee though, it still won't happen, right? I mean, they'll find a way to not do it, which sucks.
It probably won't happen, but it absolutely should. And if you're SLU and Mizzou and you're sitting there and not playing, okay, do you really have to do all these different schedulings to make this happen? Like if you both have a Friday or a Saturday open, you're telling me in 3-4 days you can't figure out a game? They absolutely could do that, and this is the year they should do that.
All right, Martin and Marlow, and the Marlow Moments are brought to you by...
Oh, of course, Kennelwood Pet Resorts. We're taking Otis to Kennelwood next week for a little vacation, so we'll drop him off at Kennelwood.
Where are you going? Do I know where you're going?
We're going, actually, I've never been to Branson, ever. And so we're going to Big Cedar Lodge down there, which, watching the golf tournament, I don't know if we're going to play golf, but just kind of seeing all of the scenery there, got us excited. We'd already planned it, but looking forward to that next week. So Otis will be at Kennelwood Pet Resorts. You got St. Louis equipment for your lawn mowers. Go buy them, get them fixed there. As well, you have St. Louis Lawn Care for everything in your yard, especially this time of year. Nobody likes raking leaves. So have St. Louis Lawn Care do that for you. Corner Butcher, I go there once a week, get all your meat. They have all kinds of great food there at Corner Butcher in Fenton and Kirkwood Pizzeria. The commish, Rick Hummel, loves it. So do I. Go see my guy, Carl. He's a big sports fan as well. He'll talk Blues, Cardinals, anything with you at Kirkwood Pizzeria.
I have to say, I'm envious. Ben DeBranson, and I think for a while I avoided it because I thought, the cliche, or people like, oh, no, what are you going to do? Go to Branson? Oh, it's too touristy. We went a few summers ago. We had a great time. Loved it. And one of the things we did, we were on Table Rock Lake, which is like the clearest, bluest lake you'll ever see. We rented a boat, and we're driving around. I said, what is that place? That looks so cool. Big Cedar Lodge has been on my list. I know some people go there during the holidays. So you guys are staying at Big Cedar Lodge?
We are.
Work a little sponsor in.
Well,
Future sponsor of the Martin and Marlow podcast.
yeah, we should actually give Big Cedar a call and have him be a sponsor because I've heard good things. My father-in-law went there. He said it was awesome, and we're looking forward
That could
to
be
it.
your new nickname, Big Cedar.
I like that.
You're like, sponsor me, and I will change my name to Big Cedar. Well, I'm looking forward to the reviews of that as well. Kilcoyne Conversation during the week. The Martin and Marlow Conversation once a week, brought to you by our friends at Triad Bank, located in Frontenac. They're based here, so if you're a small business owner, make sure you touch base with Jim Regna and his team at Triad Bank. They can help you get things done. TriadBanking.com is the website, or in person on Clayton Road, about a block west of Lindbergh, right there in Frontenac. Appliance Discounters, which has 4 area locations. Got the distributorship downtown, but 4 places where you can walk in the door and get a brand new appliance at the lowest prices in town. TheApplianceDiscounters.com to find out more about GE, Bosch, all the great appliances at the lowest prices. Also, B&G Tuck Pointing, the best in the bricks. It's bgtuckpointing.com. You've got the chimney, the garage, the house that's made out of bricks. Make it look new again. Mortar repair, foundation repair, caulking, waterproofing. They can do it all. bgtuckpointing.com. And also Marie DeVilla Senior Living at the corner of Clayton and Weidman Road. It's been since 1960 providing premium senior living. Take a tour online at mariedevilla.com. And we saved the biggest story for last because I'm sure it's been discussed enough, but Alex Petrangelo's time with the Blues is over. I don't think any of us are surprised. I think we'd like to know maybe the whole story. I think I still want to know from Doug Armstrong and Alex Petrangelo, neither side was willing to kind of give or say, or we'll give you 8 years, $64 million. That's a legit offer. Petrangelo's people say, got to have the no trade. They say, not giving you that. Is that because, hey, we're okay with you walking, but we don't want to say we're letting the captain walk? Or to Petrangelo, and Andy Strickland told us this on the TV side, he said, don't rule out the fact Petrangelo kind of wants to see what's out there. He's been here a long time. So, and I think he alluded to that in his Zoom interview with reporters too, that he's a little excited to see what happens there. It's a divorce, but I don't think there's acrimony.
Yeah, I don't think you should be mad at either side, although I get why Blues fans will be, because they're emotional about a guy they really like, and he's been here for 12 years since the draft, and he hoisted the first ever Stanley Cup. I get all of that. I always thought that once that deadline ended on Thursday night before free agency, where the Blues could no longer offer him the 8th year, which I thought was the best thing the Blues had going for them, was they could offer 1 extra year than any other team, which would have made the total value of the contract higher. So if it was 8 by 8, 64 is more than the 61.6 he got from Vegas, although we all now know, we're all tax experts now, we all know about him getting more because of no state income tax in Nevada, and all the signing bonus money is not taxed with, obviously, the state income tax. So whatever it is, both offers were fine. I read a lot into Jeremy Rutherford's tweet when he said that Petro was caught off guard on Friday with the Torrey Krug move. To me, I just would have thought maybe there was one last ditch of, before Army goes and signs Torrey Krug, hey, this is our last shot, we're going to sign somebody else. But Army works for Tom Stillman. He works for the Blues. They have to do what's best for the organization, and Torrey Krug is a really good player. I'm not mad at either side. Clearly, Alex Petrangelo, the contract, the money, and the structure, that was the most important thing to him. I think he probably was fine staying with the Blues or going somewhere else. He had two good options. At the end of the day, he leaves, and this is the business of sports.
This is a really shitty take, but it happens.
Yeah.
Chris Pronger left, Brett Hull left, and beyond that, Albert Pujols, Kurt Warner, these are guys whose careers didn't end in St. Louis like you thought they would. Warner comes back. He's a hero. Albert, there's still some bad feelings with Cardinal fans, but we saw the weekend when the Angels were here, the love that was thrown at him. At some point down the road, there'll be a reunion, maybe the 10-year reunion. Petrangelo will be recently retired. People will go nuts. What do you always say? We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. I think it's all going to work out. And I think the Blues are kind of intrigued about maybe Ryan O'Reilly as a captain to see what that looks like. So he gets what he wanted. I really do believe that. I think if he's on the lie detector, what do you really want? He's like, I kind of want to leave. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but you get that sense. But I'm sure he also wanted the Blues to chase him down the altar. And I don't think Doug Armstrong does that, from what we know of his personality.
Exactly. And I'm excited now for the Blues because I think the Blues are going to be just fine. And I don't think Torrey Krug is that much of a drop-off from Alex Petrangelo. And you can make the case offensively and on the power play, he's equally as good or, again, better on the power play. And Ryan O'Reilly, most likely the captain. I said this today on the radio. I just don't think Petro leaving changes the identity of the Blues. Even though he was a huge part of the Cup win, he was the captain, I still think the Blues' identity was Binnington and rolling four lines. And Petro leaving doesn't change the Craig Berube style of coaching and how the Blues play. And then also, we know Krug's coming in, but sometimes the big dog has to leave for other guys to try to become the big dog. So like Colton Parayko now, a guy who makes $5.5, in a couple years, he's going to want to make Petro money. So for the next 2 years, it's now on him to try to become a Petro-type player. Justin Falk, he's already got the big contract, but he couldn't have that same role that he had in Carolina. So maybe you add Krug, I don't know, maybe he's 5, 10, 15%, a little lesser than Petro, but what if Falk and Parayko raise their games 10, 15%? I think the Blues are going to be just fine.
All right, that'll do it for Martin and Marlow. For Big Cedar, I'm Martin. We're going to make that stick. Enjoy the trip to Branson. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right.